All right. Hey, everybody. This is Petey from the Spin Rack. We also got
Calvin Ellis ready to rock.
Calvin has been saying he can't trust Marvel. He knows that Doomsday is going to be good, or not good, but at least entertaining and going to make its money. Let's see if they learn their lesson. He always talks about learning their lesson. You ready to see if they learn their lesson in this Vision Quest?
Let's see. Let's see. Show
Here
me
we
what. Show me
go.
what. Let's see what you got.
Okay.
Before you started working here, I remember when you'd come in all the time with that redhead.
I was a different person back then.
How about now? Anyone waiting for you tonight?
No, him is just me. Who am I? I was an Avenger.
Oh, good
Hero
grief!
anyone. I have his face, but not his virtue. All I have is his name.
Welcome home, Vision.
All right, this is more bull rock.
Vision.
Ultron! Human avatars only.
So
Why?
I cannot overstate the dangers of keeping
Why do
him
we
around.
need a human
Yes,
avatar?
but he is
Oh, no,
Dad?
back them up.
Papa? Peepaw.
I'm a stranger to myself. Family wasn't real. You sure about that?
Human avatars, so we can stay on budget.
It's a boy. It's possible. Free us all. Save your son. Wants to understand my purpose.
A genocidal maniac inside your head.
Nothing bonds a family together quite like mortal jeopardy.
Here we go.
All right. Well, I guess they didn't learn their lesson. Not with this one.
Oh, man.
It's the same nonsense. This is like, it's like, okay, we don't want to do a superhero show. We don't want to do a superhero show. And then we're going to look for every excuse so we don't have to do it. Human avatars only. So we can stay on budget, not have to have Ultron running around. CGI, like, okay, all right. So I totally get it. You want James Spader there. James Spader, like, hey, look, I don't want to be here unless I actually get to act. I don't want to do the voiceover stuff. All right. So now we get him in. Vision isn't even going to be Vision. If this was an actual comic book story, an actual superhero story, I already know how this plays out because I've already seen the comic books at the end of the day. So I know the route that they would take. It would be about, restoring maybe some mainframe stuff. Okay, this is that same nonsense that they did with Wonder Man. And the people who don't care about superhero stuff eat this stuff up. And they're like, oh, yeah. And they don't care. This is one and done. Okay, we're gonna do this. They're not gonna be a season two. These are like some serious vanity projects or like training ground, these like training ground series for potential directors, showrunners. Oh, where are your credits? Oh, I did Wonder Man. Oh yeah, that was great. You took that superhero nonsense and really made it work. That's what this is. Just like that other one. Have not learned their television. They have not learned their lesson.
I'll say that's all. That's all right. Everything you said, I agree with all of it. I'll only add that. I'll probably add more than that. Is that I had the same. I'm gonna have the same complaint, but different about Kick Ass when I saw that comic book, and I was like, like everybody comes up with a vigilante character. Everybody comes up the next story they have that vigilante winds up in the hospital, and then they figure some other story for them to come back out because as you're writing it is the most basic thing. And in this, the Vision, even though I know they set up having a twin, so one twin is here and then the other twin is over there. But whenever someone's writing, I'm saying even for myself, one of the early stories is like you take a character that can't have kids and then you give them a family. And it's just like it's the most basic thing you do. I'm gonna search for my son type of thing with the robot. Then find some Marvel character that actually has a kid, not Franklin, but that you could play this story out with, because it's like it's the most basic thing to say, oh, how does this robot have kids? We jumping over how they have kids. They just got kids and you just accept it and let's move on. And like explore finding the data in the freaking Picard thing, searching for his daughter. Like this is the most basic thing that you can do in doing this, and having an adult son or daughter that you lost at some point, so you don't have to play around with, oh, I found the kid. At least that's the thing. When they were doing an X-Men, an X Factor with Christopher, they found the kid and it was just a kid. And it's not until I think Jim Lee decided, would it be cool if if Scott's kid was Cable, and I think it was that Rob Liefeld was trying to take that back and say, because originally I think Eric Larson said that Cable was supposed to be grown up. Who's that guy? Cannonball. So there's supposed to be a similarity between them. And I think he ghosted one of the issues, but I think he let that cat out the bag, and Liefeld not interested in that. So hard part is that having Ultron, having a villain, having that stuff would be cool, but you got rid of Ultron 2 seconds later. Showing him using the hammer is just saying, hey, we've been tossing around Mjolnir to everybody, since since this movie. Hence why I'm rather not happy that we're gonna have the little girl pick it up next and that sort of thing. But
Hey, why not?
yeah, so doing this,
Why not?
this is, if Ultron made himself a person, this is not the person Ultron would make himself into. And Ultron doesn't even like humans. The only closest thing was saying, hey, if I need a wife, it's gonna be like Janet Van Dyne. That's the closest thing of him being connected to the humans. But the other side, when he got put online, he immediately went against his creator. So this guy hates humans. He would not use a human avatar. So, and I know the hard part is that they gave Vision a human look for one period, but I always thought that was super lame and that doesn't help his character. I like the part where you see Vision sitting with the Avengers and he got a shirt over his outfit, which was him. It turned into an outfit later, but it was actually what it was him. It wasn't like an outfit. It was actually him. So he had a sweater on in the Avengers mansion, over top of what we thought. What we learned later was we got married, which he only, he got engaged and married. He didn't date. He got engaged, married the same day. So but so that's the thing in doing the Tom King thing, and Tom King, uh, you know, has these stories where you go into the homes. I think even his Mr. Miracle had a little of this type of deal. I'm not with it. I think Vision is a dynamic character, and you got cool villains and all that stuff.
In the comic books.
Yeah, so let's get to that stuff instead of going to they're like we've gone into everybody's head. And that's the thing. Back when, I think Howard Chaykin was, jokingly complaining about Byrne, saying Byrne destroyed the comic industry by going into Wolverine's head. But at the same time, it wasn't a talkie. It was, it was him, Wolverine taking action all the time. Just, and enjoying himself in doing it, not worrying about all this training. This is the stories you're supposed to do. Look at that instead of saying, as you do, a one and done piece that you can go from your reel and say, look at all the art direction and the performance and all this other stuff. And it's like, nobody's going back to any of these shows. There's no, like someone said about the Fantastic Four, there's no rewatch value to any of this stuff. You just check, as you say, check off all the boxes and call it a day. And then you put it on your reel and you're going for your next job and say, hey, look at the art direct. Look how I did. Look at my performance here. look at this scene here. Don't look at the rest of the series. This is kind of that Marvel crap. But what I did here, this portion of what I used to struggle with in college, when people would be like, "Oh, so this is my last thing to say is like, be in college and you'll be like, I'm only working on this person's film for my real type of deal." And it's just like, then just don't do it. If you don't want to do it, or the thing is people talk about where that, I come in where actors have an idea. I think who's it? Matt Damon was talking about Good Will Hunting, and they wanted to do like a like a gang, a tattoo gang in a South Side of Boston type of deal, and for Good Will Hunting, and who's it? Michael Mann wanted to do that, and he was like, no. But at the same time, that script originally had spy stuff and all that stuff. But or the thing is, people just come in with these ideas. You have these characters, and like saying, it's not the best way to go. But if you're looking at these characters and say, who are their characters, who are their villains, and who would be good in the fight against these guys, and then you make your list and you figure out how that works, and you don't force fit it. This is all in your head, and that's where I'm going to end it. Vision is a cool character, making him human and having him struggle trying to figure out his son and all this stuff, getting the other son and kind of connecting them back together. Just takes all the fun out of Vision, because Vision was unique as a robot, which was fun. Him maybe having feelings or maybe romantic feelings, fine. I'm all for that. It connects with the kid and you being like, hey, I like this girl, but I don't know if she likes me type of thing. All that stuff works. The marriage, that stuff, they progress more than Hank and Jan. And they were like, they were in a loving marriage for umpteen years and no kids. So it's like Vision, like, oh, what are we doing next? Is plot. Oh, getting married. What's next? Oh, kids. So in this, waste of time. So anyway, that's me. Any last words before we get out of here?
No, I think you said it all.
All right. Well, we have Disney Plus. We'll be checking this out. Spin rack.
We're out. Later days.